Yes, people, what's happening? Nice one for joining us back on the Fuse UK. It's much appreciated as always. Today's next guest we've got is JR Ridge. What's happening, brother? Hope you're well, my mate.
How you doing, man? I'm good. I'm good.
Good man, good man. What's been happening, bro?
You know what? Just out here enjoying this Florida weather. Waiting on a call for the next big one. The rankings changed and now I'm ranked number one.
Yeah.
We're waiting on to see who the next opponent is. So that's what we're doing.
Cushy. And your last outing was Chancey Wilson. I was wondering if we could have a little go through that fight, mate, and how you felt in that fight.
Yeah. Chancey Wilson. Yeah, what you got?
How did you feel in the fight?
Um, I felt I felt good in the fight. Well, I'll just give you like a kind of a backstory.
Like the build up of it, like your training camp and that. Did you have like a good training camp and stuff?
Yeah, I had a great training camp. Like physically, it was the best, but I was kind of going through some things in my personal life, with like my relationship. So it was kind of a tough deal at the same time of, going through the camp, and then emotionally it was tough.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like going into the fight, I was more prepared than ever. And yeah, but the training camp was good. I worked with a lot of different coaches, along with my head coach, and then I also work with two other coaches as well. So the training camp, like physically, like my conditioning was on point, my weight was on point, um, and I felt strong in this camp. So it was definitely a good one.
Yeah, it was a great win for yourself as well. But how did you find the Florida crowd on the night live?
How did I feel?
How did you find the crowd in Florida on the night?
Oh man, the crowd was crazy, man. Yeah, the crowd was crazy just because it's hometown, like
Yeah,
home state. So it was definitely exciting. The energy in the building was going crazy. The last minute of the fight was probably the best part of the fight, I believe. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
yeah,
It was a proper war, wasn't it? That fight that you had with Chansey, it was a proper war.
yeah, definitely. It was definitely a proper war for sure. Um, the first round, I definitely had the first round. Second round, I squeaked past him, and the third, I give him the third and the fourth, and then the first half of the fifth, and then the last, I think it was like 45 seconds or so of the fifth round. I think really just it was it. I was all in, and what's crazy when people ask, it's like all the pain and the heartache that I dealt with through the fight camp, like I knew if I didn't push those last 45 seconds of that fight, that it would have been all that BS that I went through would have meant nothing. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
meant a lot to me on that win, and it felt good to get my hand raised at the end.
Did you expect it to be as hard as fight as it was?
The thing is, like with Chancey Wilson, I've been watching Chancey Wilson as long as I've been in the promotion, and I knew we were destined to fight regardless
Yeah.
because he's a very talented guy. Um, and I knew it was going to be a tough fight. I knew that he was quick. I knew that he was skillful. I knew that he was a southpaw, and so there was a lot of preparation for that. I felt like going into the fight, I was telling Sean Wheelock and Chris Lytle that I felt like it was going to come down to timing
Yeah.
because both of us are fast. Both of us are quick, but I feel like it would have came down to timing.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I knew that it was going to be a tough one, and I didn't expect it to go all five, but it sure did. So and it was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it definitely was, mate. And Reggie Barnett, the champion of your weight, was obviously fighting that night as well, wasn't he? But he also fought the other night against your former opponent Alvarez. What did you think of that fight?
Yeah, so Reggie Barnett, he fights at 135 and I'm at 125. So he's talking about coming down to 125, but I don't think I mean he might. I'm not sure, But
Yeah, I heard that he was going. He says it in an interview, doesn't he? That he's going down to your way.
yeah, he says he is, but I don't think. I mean, we'll see if he does. Uh, but Daniel Alvarez, he ended up, taking the spot for Reggie Barnett's opponent that backed out, or maybe injury. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but it was crazy watching that fight because I had fought Daniel Alvarez, and I knew he was a big guy, and at the weigh-in for whenever he fought Reggie, he looked big even compared to Reggie, right? Did you
yeah,
watch? Did you watch it? I
yeah.
was like,
He's dead broad, and he's got like a big torso.
yeah, he's like just a big guy,
Yeah,
and he didn't even make weight for that one. Like he didn't make weight for my fight either. But for when he fought Reggie, I guess that the fight before, like he was supposed to be fighting at 155, and like so he was like in limbo, and then they asked him to fight Reggie at 135, and he was like, okay, I'll do it. Then I got to get back down to 135. I get it that his weight was probably going to be off, but watching Daniel fight Reggie that night, Daniel just I don't think he looked good at all, honestly.
yeah.
He didn't look. I don't know. Like he did.
It's a lot of weight to lose that though, mate. And I wonder
It's
how much he actually did get off.
yeah. It was a crazy deal for him, and hats off to him for taking the fight. My management had called, and he said that my manager had called, and he was like, "Hey, if you get a phone call, your name popped up in a meeting, to jump up a weight class and fight Reggie." And I thought about it, but they didn't end up calling me. Nate didn't call me, which is I wouldn't have taken the fight either because it was on such short notice.
Yeah,
Reggie has had a full camp, and I've just been training to stay in shape. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too out of shape, and then whenever they're like, okay, hey, the next fight is with this opponent on this date, I don't want to be so far off of weight that I'm the training camp will be hell. So I'm just training to stay in shape, stay active, and then
yeah,
when it's time to start really going into camp, watching the weight and up the training, it'll be good. But yeah, I wouldn't have done it, and I wouldn't have done it. But I hats off to Alvarez. He's a soldier. He's a warrior. He's a tough son of a bitch. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie. And but he just didn't look like he just didn't. In my opinion, he didn't look good in that fight against Reggie.
Yeah, and what's happening with your weight, like the 125 division? Because they haven't got a belt out for the weight yet, have they?
Yeah, so they don't have a belt for the 125. So what David Feldman had said, he said that we will have a title fight for the 125s this year. He said that whenever John Dodson and Jared Grant fought.
Yeah,
At that press conference, David Feldman was like, "Yeah, the winner of these two guys will, definitely be in line for the title fight for the 125s." So, the new year came, the rankings changed, and what I'm thinking, this is just me being in the fight game.
you and Dodson.
If I was a matchmaker, this is how I would do it. And this is, I mean, who knows if if this is the way they're thinking or not. But so Chancey Wilson is fighting the number 2 guy in April, like April 21st, I believe. It was a Del Rey card that got pushed. It got canceled, and now they rescheduled to April 21st, I believe. So Chancey Wilson is fighting the number 2 guy. I believe that they already know that Chancey Wilson is going to beat Tyler Randall. So it's going to bump Chancey Wilson to number 3. And then John Dodson goes to number 2. And then John Dodson and I will fight for the title. That's what I think that's the narrative they're trying to write, which, I would love that. And, I've been wanting to fight John Dodson ever since he came into BKFC. I think it would be an exciting fight.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I think that's what's going to happen. And, that's what we're hoping that's going to happen. So we're just sitting back, and I'll probably go watch the fight down in Hollywood at the Hard Rock, just to see how everything plays out. But yeah, I think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, that'd be a huge fight for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you say that you've never been more dedicated to the bare knuckle game than you are now?
Yeah, I would say so. Just because, you know, I feel like I've built my name enough in BKFC that, I've got, I got a following now, and, just the style, the way that I fight, I feel like I can bring, you know, people in the seats. I can sell tickets, and, I think that, bare knuckle as a sport in general, it's growing so much. I mean, over there, like on your side of
Yeah,
your side, I mean, it's huge already. It's been that you started bare knuckle. So I feel like it's growing so big that, it's a blessing that I was able to get into the sport as it's taking off.
yeah.
So yeah, dedication, is at an all-time high right now, just because of where the sport is going. So I'm super happy about it, and I'm super happy of the work that we've put in.
Yeah, and obviously there's a few fighters now who are in the bare knuckle who are mixing it up and doing a couple of glove fights, even maybe even MMA. Are you just going to strictly stay bare knuckle and loyal to the BKFC?
I think so. But if something pops up, or an opportunity pops up for a boxing match or something like that, I would probably take it. My good friend of mine, Ryan Reber, is actually fighting for Game Bread. Yeah, you saw it, right? Did you see
Yeah.
some of the weigh-ins and stuff? But yeah, he is fighting. I think the fight is tonight, as a matter of fact. But he's doing a boxing match, and if something pops up, or I had the opportunity, and my management was like, "Yeah, I think this is a good one. Let's do it. And the money is right, I'll do it." But yeah, sticking with bare knuckle, I think that this is my home, and then I'll probably, whenever the timing's right, I'll bow out. But as of right now, I don't see myself, bowing out for a while.
Class, and it must be a good feeling to be on such a huge platform, and especially the position you're in, being the #1 ranked fighter in your weight. It must be a proud feeling for yourself.
Yeah, very proud. Like, from when I started back in, I think it was 2021 or 2021 in December, when I had my first bare knuckle fight. I can't believe, I mean, in just the short amount of time and the amount of fights that I've had, I've really been able to, showcase my skill and kind of cement my name into the 125 division. And I'm super excited. I couldn't be more happier.
Class, man. And have you been watching the UK cards?
Yeah, I watched, I think the last one I watched, I was getting bad connection on the app, man. I was getting terrible connection on yeah, I don't know what the heck was going on, but it was super choppy, so I ended up turning it off. But yeah, I did see Connor Tierney's, like I saw it like choppy, and then I watched the highlights again after. But man, that one was a crazy fight, man.
Yeah, all the fights fucking really were crazy, mate. Every single one of them. What did you think of the Conor and Jake fight? It was a bit controversial, wasn't it?
Very controversial. I think, going into the fight, I've always been a big fan of Conor. Like,
Yeah.
he brings a different, as the sport has evolved, right? Like, there's been new breeds of talent, and Connor Tierney is, he's one of those new breeds of talent that just really understand their gifts.
Yeah.
And he's a boxer at heart. He moves like a boxer. But as the he and I both have come into BKFC, like, the talent that he brings, I thought he was gonna just walk all over that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know much about, I didn't know much about his opponent, but I'm a fan of Connor Tierney. And damn, like, it just goes to show you that bare knuckle, anything can happen in bare knuckle.
And there wasn't much stuff out of Jake, was there?
No.
You know what I mean? He's a very, very good fighter, though, mate. He reads shots very well. I just think, like, with it, obviously, but when it was his own show and the main card and all the other fights, like, never getting stopped, and he got like stopped that early. I thought it was a bit of a shame, to be honest.
Yeah, like I was a bit shocked. Like I was like, wow. Like I could not believe it. I thought Connor was just gonna move around, do his thing and sharpshoot and eventually catch him, with like a straight down the pipe and with a KO. But man, it was like the total opposite. He got caught and then it was done after that.
Yeah, I think there was 3 knockdowns, wasn't there, altogether?
Yeah.
It was a good fight. It was a good fight, really good fight, and hopefully they can run it back. Jake said he wants the rematch and that, so hopefully they can run it back and settle it properly again.
Yeah, I hope they do. I hope they're able to. And Connor didn't look like the same Connor too after he got rocked. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's true that a lot of fighters say like you have a game plan until you get hit.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was one of those situations to where like he was like, damn, like now my game plan is going out the window. I'm just gonna like swing for the fences and survive. And that's how I watched it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if they run it back, I 100% Connor will be very well prepared, and it'll be a totally different fight, I believe.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And is there anything that you'd want to do in the future? Come over to the UK and be on one of the cards?
Man, I would love that. I would love that. I would love to fight. I mean, back in the day, whenever I was in my late teens, mid 20s, I fought all over China. I've never been able to fight in the UK. I think it would be a dream come true to fight in the UK. But yeah, I would love to. If David Feldman was like, "Hey, we got you on a card," the next London card, I would be all for it. I would love it over there. The fans are crazy, right?
Oh, mate, we love it. We absolutely love it.
Right. I can hear the energy and the roar of the crowds like whenever I've watched the last couple UK cards.
Yeah, the next one in Leeds, mate, BKFC 40, that will be a mad one because there's quite a few big crowds going to that, and they're like football fan type of fans. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Cheer songs and that mint quality.
I love that. See, I love that about the UK, man. You guys are crazy. Just so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, hopefully we can see you on one of the cards in the future, mate. But before we wrap it up, is there any shout outs or sponsors, big ups you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, I want to, give a shout out to Wicked Muay Thai. They're one of my main sponsors. They design all my fight trunks for me, and without them, I wouldn't be able to look as good as I do when I do fight. And I got to shout out my guy Jeremy Rickard with Excelicor Real Estate out here in Tampa. They're a big part of my training camps too. So, yeah.
Great stuff, mate. Hopefully we can stay in touch, mate, like we do, and jump on the podcast again when you've got some more fight news for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep you guys posted and we'll stay in touch for sure.
Spot on, mate. Really appreciate you coming on, mate, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Take care, mate. See you later. Yes, people. Nice one for tuning in there. It's much appreciated as always. JR Ridge there. I'm going to put his social medias in the description. He's ranked #1 in his weight for the BKFC. Very good fighter. So head over there and give him a follow. Just going to go through the... What's this? Steve. Don't want to read them out. But anyways, hope everybody enjoys the rest of the evening. Good night.